今回はシー・オブ・シーブスのこれまでの進化を一緒に見ていく動画となっています。2022年1月のシーズン5までの内容となっておりますので、その点ご了承の上ご視聴ください。今ご視聴いただいている動画は2015年6月の E3 でシー・オブ・シーブスが初めて発表された時のプロモーションビデオです。こちらは当選した人だけが参加できるアルファテストバージョン 0.1.0 の時の動画です。
You and your crew will be relying on this map first to pinpoint the island, then to dig up the treasure. Making this a little bit easier is the map table on your ship. This gives you a wider view of the many islands you can travel to and your ship's position on the sea. By comparing the islands on both maps like some kind of ingenious pirate detective, you can plot a course and get your treasure hunt underway. Ideally, at some point you'll make it to the right island and face one more test of your crew's cartographic skills to track down the buried stash. There won't really be a giant red X in the sand, so you'll have to use the island's landmarks to
この段階ではクエストは宝探しだけが実装されており、宝箱の売却場所も船大工でした。
And the more of you who help to dig, the faster you'll uncover the bit. If that doesn't go to plan, you'll be taking a trip to the Ferry of the Damned because, well, you'll be dead. But don't worry too much. If you and your fellow lost souls ask the captain nicely, he might escort you back to the real world and you'll be back in action. So what happens if your whole ship goes down? Well, as luck would have it, some friendly mermaids will be on hand to rescue you and your crew. Because that's what mermaids do, apparently. Head to the shipwright, who'll happily exchange it for gold. Well, maybe not happily, but she will exchange it. One quest, well and truly smashed. This is just a first glimpse of what's to come in Sea of Thieves, and we look forward to showing you more as we set sail through our technical alpha phase and beyond. Cheers! You and your fellow rascals will now find many more places to
バージョン
plunder.
0.1.1 ではだがトゥースや聖域などの開拓地や海賊の隠れ家などの島が追加されました。またプレイヤー以外の脅威となる骸骨たちもこの時に実装されたようです。
Another might let you perform a daring getaway after grabbing another crew's gold. Just look before you leap, as fall damage is now definitely a thing. More islands also mean more outposts, increasing your options for hustling chests safely back to the shipwright. This should make it easier to avoid the ganking that some of you feared during our first update, which is how the cool kids refer to treasure-related blunderbuss incidents. While you're off adventuring, make sure you don't let your guard down. not with the rattling remains of long-forgotten pirates prowling the islands. They may be gutless in strictly biological terms, but these old scallywags will still come right at you with rusty guns blazing. Non-verbal communications. There are plenty of reasons why a pirate might stay silent, like a mouthful of stolen jewels, or an intense outbreak of
正式リリースが近くなってきた2017年末頃になると、ボイスチャットがない人向けの提携チャットや妨害行為を働く船員メンバーを牢屋に入れる機能、どうしようもなくなった時に船を自沈させる機能などが追加されました。
The crews that make legends are those that bond and fight together, but sometimes you'll get a rogue who upsets the balance. Now, you might say that mutinous dogs are just part of the pirate life, but we believe in the pirate code. If you've got a serial troublemaker on your ship, you can now vote to banish them to the brig, where they'll stay until the remaining crew members decide they've served their time. And if you do end up in the brig yourself, you can still speak to your crew and try to justify your filthy misdeeds. Better make it convincing. You'll need a unanimous vote to get out. Scuttling. There may be times in Sea of Thieves when your real-world rivals are proving too hard to shake off, or the odds that you're facing seem insurmountable. Should you feel that things have reached the point of no return, you and your crew can elect to sink your own ship, known as scuttling. As your beloved vessel sinks tragically into the sea's cold embrace, it's fine, you'll get over the guilt eventually. You can think about summoning the mermaid to try and salvage it in a safer location and get back to your voyage. The small ship. Helping to fulfill the piratical fantasies of those who would rather go alone is the option of heading into open waters on a smaller ship. You'll still have to manage similar features to the large ship, but as this one was designed for a reduced crew, sailing is simplified with a wheel that needs fewer turns, a capstan that's easier to raise, and a sail that keeps the view ahead clear. With only 2 cannons on board, the small ship lacks the destructive force of the large ship, but makes up for it in agility. You'll be able to turn tighter circles at speed, letting you outmaneuver bulky rivals and give them a broadside where it hurts. If it doesn't work out, swing the prow around and run for it. Bravely, of course. These and other features are available to players now, with plenty more to come. The release notes are available in our forums, and if you want to get in on the action, join our Insider.
動画はリリース日のアナウンス PV です。最終ベータテストではオーダー、オブ、ソウルやマーチャント、アライアンスが追加されました。また骸骨砦のイベントが3時間おきに発生するようになりました。正式リリースでは伝説の海賊が実装され、クラーケンの出現や消防などが実装されました。最初のアップデート、ハンガリングディーク。このアップデートではメガロドンが実装されました。
To journey out onto the waves is to take a step into the unknown. There are things which have lived there and ruled there far longer than us. Great terrors from the deep. Some I've seen with my own eye. Many have tried to gain control over the sea, but it does not reward the greedy or impatient. The ancient people encountered monsters so powerful and terrible that they worshipped them as gods. Some say that the ancients even learned how to summon such creatures. They'd offer a sacrifice, and in return they were allowed to sail the seas undisturbed. Most would tell you that these are just stories, but I know different. And now I hear whispers from across the waves of ships disappearing without a trace. Sightings of something impossible. Just stories. Now, did I ever tell you about a vicious parrot that stole my eye?
メガロドンとアウニは古代の人々とメガロドンがどのような関係だったかを調査し、太鼓を入手してとある場所で5人以上でメガロドンの召喚の船歌を演奏する必要がありました。現在はこのイベントは終了しており進行することはできません。この後はしばらく小規模なアップデートであるビルジラットアドベンチャーというのが開催されます。最初のビルジラットアドベンチャーでは骸骨の椅子が追加され、椅子に座ると報奨がアンロックされ、一般のプレイヤーでもダブロンコインが獲得できるようになりました。次のビルジラットアドベンチャーでは火薬骸骨が初登場。当時彼らはプレイヤーの走る速度と同じ速度で追いかけてくるという鬼難易度でした。三剣カースでは呪われた人魚の像が島周辺に出現するようになりました。まだ当時は報酬の宝玉がなく、チャレンジに挑戦するだけのものでした。
You needn't cower in the doorway. I actually like meeting new people. Besides, the conversation with my friend here has reached a bit of an impasse. I think he just needs a moment to cool off. Now, I sense that you brought me something to inspect. Show me. The waves of change roll throughout the seas, and a new land is revealed. The forsaken shores. A place of darkness, where fire and ash consume all. And from the depths, skeleton crews will rise to curse the seas. An ancient evil set loose upon the Sea of Thieves. You have delivered unto me a portent of doom most terrible.
Oh!
You just wanted to know how much it was worth, didn't you? Fine, I'll give you 10 for it.
A new free update has come to the Sea of
次
Thieves,
の大
and there
型
are
アップデ
more
ート、
exciting new
カース・ド・
features
セイル
than
で
you
は
can shake a
骸
bony
骨の操
dismembered
るガ
arm.
レ温泉が登場しまし
So
た。
ready your cannons and
実
brace
装
for
当時は
battle as
特定の時間に3カ所の海域に行くと骸骨船のレイドバトルが必ず始まるようになっており、今ほど報酬は多くなかったものの、かなり刺激的なアップデートで何時間もプレイする人が後を絶たなかったそうです。少し遅れて強力な呪いの大砲の弾も追加され、 PVP における戦い方も変化していきました。また同盟システムや3人乗りのブリガンティンが追加されました。
And it sits comfortably between the speed and firepower of the galleon and the maneuverability and simplicity of the sloop. To tackle the crews of scornful skeletons, you might also want to consider forming an alliance with the other crews who roam the Sea of Thieves. Fly the flag of friendship, even if it is only temporary, and you'll not only be a force to be reckoned with, but you'll share each other's voyages and gold too. Though, keep your wits about you. Even the strongest alliance can be broken, and you never know if there's a mutinous dog in your midst. And it doesn't stop there. There's a whole host of new cosmetics for players and their ships. And for those of you who want to delve deeper into the origins of this fearsome skeleton armada, there's a time-limited campaign in which players can uncover the mystery of a certain missing merchant and the misdeeds that summoned the skeleton crews up from the depths. The Cursed Sails update is out now, free to all players. So hop on board and get ready to tackle the skeletal remains of pirates past. Cheers!
次のアップデートはビルジラットアドベンチャーで死神の印の旗が初登場しました。アドベンチャーで PVP をメインに遊びたい人の要望に応えた形で、自らの居場所を他の船に教えることができるようになりました。
The devil's roar, a land left unexplored. The devil's roar, the omen they ignore, and those who land upon her shore best ride to those who they adore. Just ask the souls who came before. Those poor forgotten sailors.
With the Forsaken Shores update, a new
後世
region
勲
has
章アーズ
been revealed within the
ア
Sea
ッ
of
プデートで
Thieves,
は
the
既
Devil's
存の
Roar,
海域に加
a
えて
dangerous,
火山活動が活発な海域、悪魔のうなり声海域が追加されました。
Traversing the islands of the Devil's Roar is easier said than done. You and your crew will have to tackle earthquakes that will throw you off balance. You'll have to avoid searing lava flows and blasts from geysers that can throw you up into the air as a fiery inferno of red-hot rocks rain down from the sky. You'll also have to deal with superheated water around islands during volcanic eruptions. A dip in this water could prove deadly for even the most hardened pirate, and that's where our next feature comes in handy. The
また
rowboat.
これに合わせて
Rowboats have started
手
to
漕ぎボ
wash
ー
up
ト
on
や
the shores of
交
all of
易
the
島が
regions
追
in the
加
Sea
され
of
ました。
Thieves, and players can take them with them on their adventures by docking them to their ship. Use them to navigate the superheated water of the Devil's Roar, or perhaps to make shuttling your hard-earned loot back to your ship that little bit easier. You can also use them to speed up your resource gathering. Each rowboat has a small chest that can be loaded with the resources that you find on islands, making getting those vital bananas and planks of wood back to your ship easier and more efficient.
そのしばらくしてマーチャンとアライアンスに動物捕獲以外のクエストとして貨物配達が追加されました。
The items they give you require care and attention to get them to their destination safely. Fragile rum bottles that'll smash if you're too heavy-handed. Luxurious cloth that'll rot if it gets wet. And plants that have to be watered to ensure they make it to their destination alive. The condition of your cargo determines the amount of gold you'll receive upon delivery. And what does a good pirate do with their riches? They spend them, of course. And if you're after a bargain, you might want to do that at one of the many new sea posts that have popped up around the Sea of Thieves. These makeshift shops carry a small assortment of random items, but all are on sale for a discounted price. What's not to like? And by exploring the Devil's Roar and completing Devil's Roar voyages and cargo runs, as you encounter those who remain of the very first crews to chart these waters, and uncover the tragic fate that befell them. The Forsaken Shores update is out now, free to all players. So ready your rowboats and maybe stock up on bananas as you journey into the danger of the Devil's Roar. Good luck!
次はビルジラットアドベンチャー最後のイベントです。呪われ死者の渡し船に運命の泉が追加され、倒れた方法によって色のついた炎が手に入るようになりました。このイベントでは各地の島にある灯火台に火をつけて回るというものでした。
The Shrouded Spoils update brings a whole host of new features and improvements to the Sea
シュ
of
ラウド
Thieves,
スポイルアップデートではやり込み要素が大幅に追加されました。天候に霧が追加され、ほぼ視界がない状態でいきなり島や船が現れるなどの緊張感が生まれました。
And if you're unlucky, what you might spot is one of the new roaming skeleton crews. Unlike the previous battles with these crews of the dead, they can now emerge from the depths anywhere. But while a thirst for battle courses through their now non-existent blood, these new roaming skeleton crews aren't just there to pounce on players from below the waves. You'll also see them sailing the seas as part of their own adventures. And it's up to you whether you want to engage in battle with them or not. And that's not the end of the changes to the threats players will face out at sea.
また、メガロドン2種類が追加され、全5種類になりました。メガロドンやクラーケン討伐の報酬もこの時初めて追加されました。実はこのアップデートが来るまでメガロドン、クラーケンは一度倒して実績を解除したらそれ以降倒すメリットが何もなく、遭遇したらスルーする人がほとんどという残念なイベントとなっていました。
Just like the sloop that players can use, these ships don't pack the same firepower as the galleon, but they're more nimble. And we've made changes to skeleton forts too. Not only are 6 more of the previously abandoned forts now brimming with skeletal activity, but defeating the hordes who occupy them could present you with 2 new rewards. A crate of the finest ancient bone dust, which isn't creepy in the slightest, and the new stronghold gunpowder barrel. This mighty boombox is worth a fair bit of coin if you cash it in with the Merchant Alliance. Or if you prefer to watch the world burn, you can use it to unleash total devastation. To round off the new rewards, players will now receive a colored gem
この時呪いの人魚像に報酬が追加され、攻撃を落とすようになりました。
If you're on the hunt for more loot, listen closely for their mournful call, and their treasure could be yours. And of course, the more treasure you cash in, the more gold you'll have to spend on the glorious new ship cosmetics. In addition to changing the sails, hull, and figurehead, you can also change the look of the capstan, wheel, and
こ以外にも大砲、巻き上げ機、舵などもカスタマイズ可能になりました。
Can't get enough of the Kraken? Get one of its eyes on your wheel. Crazy about crabs? This crustacean capstan is the perfect fit. Whatever your style, you'll find something new to complete your look and draw envious eyes from other pirates. And there's new time-limited ship cosmetics too, with the Whaling Barnacle set. Players can unlock and buy this set for the duration of the Shrouded Spoils update. So if barnacles are your bag, then there's no time to waste. And to top it off, there are new commendations and titles to strive for, including
やり込み要素である報奨や称号が大幅に追加されました。
status within the Sea of Thieves, these new commendations and titles will provide additional challenges and goals beyond their journey so far. The Shrouded Spoils update is out now, free to all players. So prepare to peer through the fog as you embark on even more rewarding voyages across the Sea of Thieves. Cheers!
There is an island that lies beyond the borders of this world. Impossible to reach without great power. The Shroudbreaker is that power. And there are many on these seas who seek it. But this adventure belongs to you. Follow the clues left by those who came before, and the rewards within your grasp are riches unimaginable. If you can face those who guard them. Well, what are you waiting for?
The skull of a skeleton lord. Impressive. But you must take care, for great danger lies ahead.
Welcome to
そ
the
して
arena.
1周年となるアニバーサリーアップデートです。このアップデートはかなり大規模なものでした。まずクエスト物語の黄金の海岸1章から9章までが実装されました。このゲーム初の大規模なストーリークエストで、ストーリーを目当てにプレイする人もたくさんいました。アドベンチャーとは別のモード、アリーナモードも実装されました。アリーナは15分間の試合形式で、最大5隻のガレ温泉で宝箱をゲットして売ると点数が手に入り、手に入れた点数で競うモードです。現在のアリーナとは少しルールが異なり、宝の地図が全員に配られ、できるだけたくさんの宝箱を掘って換金するというルールでした。またこのアップデートに合わせてマストが砲撃で折れたり、巻き上げ機や火事が破損するというシステムが追加されました。この時は巻き上げ機に大砲の弾が直撃すると怒りが落ちるというやや厳しめの難易度でした。また地味めの回収ですが、船体の弾の穴も大小がつき、何度も大砲の弾が当たった場所から浸水が速くなるようになりました。
Then join us in the arena, part of the Sea of Thieves anniversary update, launching April 30th. Cheers! The Sea of Thieves anniversary update is nearly
そして
here.
貿易会社ハンターズコールが追加され、合わせて釣りと調理システムが追加されました。
Following his mysterious disappearance after the Hungering Deep, Merrick has returned to set up the Hunter's Call Trading Company. Working alongside his ever so creatively named son, Derek, and the rest of his extended family, they'll be your port of call for all things hunting. And that starts with fishing. Yes, the much requested feature is finally here. Players will be able to cast off and lay in wait for the varied fish that lurk below the waves. And when you do get a bite, you'll have to skillfully pull and reel to claim your prize. There are many fish to be found across the Sea of Thieves, but in order to snag some of the rarer examples, you'll need to learn what you can about their specific catch conditions. Use different types of bait, and throw a line into the right spot. And who knows what sort of fanciful fish you'll drag up. And what to do with your hard-earned catch? Well, you can always take them back to any of the Hunter's Call crew in exchange for some cold, hard cash. Perhaps an upgrade to your old fishing rod. Ah, shiny. Or maybe it's time to break out the pots and pans and get cooking. You'll be able to practice your culinary creations with a selection of new food types, including fish, a variety of new fruit, and the meat you gather from animals found on islands.
この時合わせて動物が肉を落とすようになり、初めてバナナ以外の果物が登場しました。
Burn it, and you'll have wasted some valuable nutrition. And if you undercook it, well, that's your dinner party ruined. Ugh! And finally, if you're the sort of pirate who's craving for something more of the point-and-shoot variety, then look no further than the new harpoon gun. You'll be kitted out with two
船首にあるハープーンもこの時実装され、森を使った戦術も大きく影響を与えました。
Take aim and pull up a multitude of different objects onto the deck of your ship. Tether yourself to an enemy vessel to keep them close, and retract the line, ready for boarding. Or navigate the waters like a pro as you tether and retract around sea rocks and islands in scenes that would impress even the most fast and furious of players. All of this and more is available in the Sea of Thieves Anniversary Update, launching April 30th.
今回はここまでです。ご視聴ありがとうございました。
Most exciting adventure yet.